Hey guys, and welcome to the Killer Bits. My name is Francesca, and this week I want to talk to you about MOBAs. More importantly, I want to give you an overview of the top 4 MOBAs, in case you don't really know too much about them, so that you as a new player can decide, if you're interested in MOBAs, which one you'd like to play. Now, a MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena. It is a video game in which each team of players has a base, with lanes connecting the enemy base to their base. Along these lanes, minions spawn, you kill these minions, you take out their towers and objectives, and eventually you kill their bases and win. The top 4 MOBAs currently are League of Legends, Dota 2, Heroes of the Storm, and Smite. Those are currently the most popular MOBAs, so we're going to go over the pros and cons for each of those games. Now, graphically, I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. I will show footage of all of them, but I really do think that art style and graphics comes down to personal preference. And we're going to start this list off by going through the top-down MOBAs, specifically Dota 2, as this is seen as the most difficult or most challenging of the 3. So, pros of Dota 2. First and foremost, it is completely free to play and all characters are unlocked from the start. You don't have to earn in-game currency to unlock characters. You can play everyone from the start, though it may be a bit confusing for you deciding who to play. It is seen as the most tactical of the MOBAs, as it is the most difficult. It includes mechanics such as creep denials, where you kill your own creeps to stop the enemy getting XP and gold. You can activate the Glyph of Fortification to protect your structures every 5 minutes, which has a tactical element too. Also, there is a high level of importance on team play in this MOBA. It is very important to play as a member of a team rather than running around doing your own thing. The game is commended for having very high variation in both the abilities of its characters and the design of its characters. Also, there is community-created content, which can be implemented and sold within the game. This actually allows players to monetize their own creations, whether they be character sets, voice packs, emotes, whatever. And also there is an inbuilt microphone system which allows for communication, which ties into that high level of importance on team play. It should be fairly easy to communicate with your team, even if you're queuing solo. However, this difficulty level does lead to an incredibly steep learning curve. It is a very tough game as a new player with no MOBA experience to come in and play. The builds are complicated, the mechanics are complicated, a lot of it is very complicated. On top of that, the community is renowned for being unfriendly to new players. And most people actually suggest that as a new player you should learn with a friend who knows what to do. This is not always feasible. You don't always have a friend who can teach you how to play Dota. And there's not always a friend who wants to teach you how to play Dota. So from a completely new player perspective, this one maybe isn't the best one to start with. Also, I personally feel that the shop is awkward and clunky for new players to navigate and to use. And on top of that, there is the existence of hats in a Valve game, and everyone knows how that ends. I will also mention that Dota 2 has a highly variable meta. There are not always set lanes or roles. For example, every game doesn't always have a jungler, and thus the way the game progresses is very pick dependent. Also, games can run very long. This may be a pro or con depending on what you kind of like. Next up, we have League of Legends from Riot, and I will say that from the top-down MOBAs, this is one of medium difficulty to play. It is simpler to understand than Dota. For example, you can teleport back to base without buying an item, you don't have to deny creeps, though you still have to last hit creeps in order to get gold and experience. There is more emphasis in this game on individual skill and landing skill shots. For example, there are more skill shots in League than in Dota, in my personal opinion, and this does lead to snowballing. So if you're someone who's more into kind of showing off and having individual skill, this one may be more for you than if you're someone who likes to play the team, though why are you playing a MOBA? Also, it has a massive player base. Chances are you know someone who plays League. Your mother might play League. There is always someone that you know who plays League. It is a very, very popular game with a large player base, and so there will be lots of new players just as there will be lots of older players, so you should kind of have a competitive matchmaking system. The game has a very large character roster. Currently there are 124 champions in the game, so a whole bunch to choose from. However, this does lead on to our cons fairly nicely, because there are 124 champions, they are very, very difficult to learn all of them. So you're going to have a tough time when you first start playing, as you don't necessarily know how to counter or what to do against a certain champion. On top of that, you don't have all of the champions free from the start. You have to earn them, either from playing the game and earning in-game currency, or from buying them, which would be fine, except that the game has the existence of rune pages. Rune pages are a feature where you buy runes with in-game currency earned by playing, which actually have an effect on the gameplay. You can have increased health, increased auto-attack damage, these kind of things, and I really do think that this feature kind of stops new players from playing the game. This, to me, is a gate to League of Legends, because you can't spend your in-game currency on champions to learn them. because you have to save it to buy runes, otherwise you're at a legitimate disadvantage in the game. In some ways, this game is kind of pay to win, because you're going to need to buy the champions to learn them, unless you spend a lot of time doing outside research, or spend a lot of time grinding the game. Also, champions can feel very similar to one another / homogeneous, so there's not huge amounts of variation in the roster, but when you have 124 champions, that's not really surprising. The community is renowned for being largely toxic. There is a lot of flaming and BM in almost every game that I've played competitively against other teams. You will get a lot of negativity coming from your own team, and sometimes from the enemy team too. Also, there is no inbuilt in-game communication system, so no kind of voice chat or anything like that. Everything has to be done by typing. Also, this game contains Teemo, the cute, irritating, mushroom-dropping character, and many players believe that that is a con.
Captain Teemo on duty!
Next up, we have Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm is probably the easiest top-down MOBA to pick up and play. There is no shop, so you don't need to learn item builds. Instead, your characters have talents that they unlocked at specific levels, which you pick in order to build your character. There are shared levels. You don't have to worry about last-hitting enemies. You just have to be close to them when they die to gain the XP, so you don't have to worry too much about making sure you're getting those kills or getting those that farm. As long as you're near it or nearby, everyone will benefit. The games are fairly short and fast-paced, so if you don't have a lot of time, then this is a good one to kind of drop in and play. Games can really often take like 15-20 minutes, whereas, for example, Dota games can last over an hour. You get to pick your hero before you actually queue, so you always get to play who you want. However, this can lead to rather weird team comps as you're not picking the games together, although in ranked you do have a pick phase, so you can build a team together. There are familiar characters from other Blizzard games, somewhat like Smash Bros, which has all the Nintendo games, so you can play your Illidan's, your StarCraft characters, your Diablo characters, whatever. So it's a very easy game to pick up and play, and another pro is that each character has 2 ultimate abilities rather than 1, which leads to a little bit more fun, in my opinion. However, Blizzard have implemented an incredibly aggressive pricing models. Heroes to buy with real money are expensive unless they're on sale, and new heroes especially cost a large amount of in-game currency, which means you're going to need to play a lot in order to grind them, which leads to a very limited roster and really kind of almost forces the player to spend money if they want more variation in who they get to play. Also, the simplicity of the leveling and builds lowers the skill cap, and some players may want more of a tactical experience. They may like that builds that kind of struggle to figure out what to build, who to pick, counter picks, that sort of thing. And that is much simpler in Heroes of the Storm. It is a very new game. It's actually launching on, I believe, the 2nd of June and going into open beta on the 19th of May. So still very new, which means the hero pool is rather small. There's not that many characters, and your favorite Warcraft character may not be in the game yet. There is also no built-in voice communication system. You can type and you can ping, but beyond that, there's no inbuilt way to communicate. And as all these games seem to have, other than Dota, there is that one character everyone hates. This game has Murky, the small, annoying Murloc creature for you to hate on, and I guess to some people that is a con. Now, moving away from top-down MOBAs, we have our third-person MOBAs, and for that one we have Smite. This is an over-the-shoulder, more kind of action-y based game. Pros being that it is available on both PC and Xbox One, though Xbox One is currently in closed beta, so just because you don't have a PC doesn't mean you can't play it. It will also be on Xbox One. It features a good way to buy characters. You have what's called the God Pack, as every character in this game is based on a god, which gives you all of the gods in the game, plus all of the future ones for $30 US, and currently there are over 60 of them, so it seems like a very good deal to me. I bought it myself. Now, it's also got a third-person perspective. Some of you may enjoy that instead of the top-down. It also means that a lot more things are skill shot-based. Your basic attacks, for example, you have to aim and hit. And it also means that people can sneak up behind you. So it does feel more exciting and more action-y. And many people say that it is faster-paced than your top-down MOBAs. Also, communication in the game is very, very good. You have what is called the VGS system, which allows players to easily communicate with the pressing of a few keys. You can say enemy missing, attack, whatever.
Left lane. I'll defend.
On top of that, they have integration with Curse Voice, and it is encouraged to be used in ranked play, which allows voice communication between players. However, Smite is not without its flaws. First and foremost, it is very common for players to use the VGS sarcastically, spamming "you rock" and then cancel that, for example, in order to put players down. Also, I really do feel that the meta or builds are fairly static. There's not a lot of variety. There seems to be, for example, one attack damage carry build that is the only viable build, and if you build beyond this, you're going to struggle. Also, the game is often criticized for its matchmaking algorithm. In ranked play, for example, you may often come across lower skilled players than you would really expect to be seen playing with someone of your level. Also, the EU servers are often criticized for being very unstable, and often European players choose to play on the North American servers, take a hit to their ping simply because these servers are more stable. Objective focus in the game means that games can be very snowbally and one-sided and are often decided in the early game, which makes late game gods not really worth picking. And last but not least, we have Cupid, who everyone likes to hate on. So those are the pros and cons for each. If you're into kind of a more difficult, competitive, challenging experience, then Dota 2 may be for you. If you want a third-person perspective, then, go with Smite. If you're kind of just want to dip your toe in, try something really casual and are really into Blizzard games, then we have Heroes of the Storm. And if you want something in the middle ground, then there's League of Legends. All of these have thriving competitive esports scenes, so all of them are kind of valid picks if you're into esports. For example, the next international, they're aiming for a $15 million prize pool. I think the last one they had $10 million. Smite, for example, its season 1 prize pool was $2.6 million for the first ever season. Meanwhile, the collegiate tournament, Heroes of the Dorm, had been broadcast on ESPN, and League of Legends is top of Twitch practically all of the time. So they've all got very strong competitive scenes. But beyond that, let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, which games you think are the best versus the worst, which pros and cons you find for each game, or if you agree or disagree with me. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, guys. And as always, we have a Facebook at facebook.com/thekillerbits and a Twitter at thekillerbits. I've been Francesca. If you want to see me play Smite and Heroes of the Storm, because those two are my favorites personally, then you can find me at twitch.tv/Jaggerus. See you guys next week with another vlog, and have a great day. Bye.